Welcome to today's Explainer. We've got a massive, incredibly active day of global developments to unpack for July 13th, 2026. We are synthesizing all the historic events happening right now into a clear, structured overview so you know exactly what's going on. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 5 sections, starting with the crisis in the Strait, then European security and cyber warfare, U.S. policy and enforcement, global tragedies and crackdowns, and finally, a historic triumph at Wimbledon. Let's jump right into Section 1, Crisis in the Strait, Escalating Tensions in the Middle East. Okay, things are moving incredibly fast here following the collapse of the interim peace deal. On July 7th, the U.S. issued a formal notice that hostilities were resuming. In the days following that, the U.S. actually reinstated a naval blockade, and for the first time ever, used one-way autonomous sea drones in combat to strike the Iranian port of Bandar Abbas. But today, the situation hit a terrifying breaking point. 2 UAE oil tankers were struck by Iranian cruise missiles right in Omani territorial waters. Tragically, this attack killed 1 Indian crew member and left 4 others seriously wounded. Now, you really have to look at the rhetoric to understand the stakes. Hossein Mohibi, a spokesperson for the IRGC, stated point-blank that Washington is seriously endangering the security of the global oil and gas supply. Tehran is fiercely asserting absolute sovereignty over Iranian waters, which is setting the stage for a highly volatile, potentially devastating clash over global energy markets. And this has triggered a massive diplomatic standoff. President Trump is proposing a 20% toll on eligible cargo to help cover the heavy defense costs of securing this waterway. But the UN's International Maritime Organization firmly rejected the proposal. They're arguing there is absolutely no legal basis under international law for imposing transit tolls like this. So, why is the timing so critical right now? It all comes down to the number 60. When that formal notice of hostilities went to Congress back on July 7th, it officially opened a 60-day window under federal war powers. This gives the U.S. administration significant military leverage to act in the region without needing immediate congressional authorization. Basically, for the next 2 months, we are in a highly unpredictable window. Despite the intense danger, which has sent overall traffic in the Persian Gulf plummeting, exactly 14 commercial vessels still made the crossing today. Just 14. Think about the sheer desperation and necessity required to brave a waterway that was basically just declared a war zone. It really highlights how essential this route is to the global economy. Moving on to Section 2, European security and cyber warfare, a dual-front approach. Europe is actively squeezing Russia using a highly coordinated dual-front strategy right now. On the physical front, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in Paris, meeting with 24 European leaders. He's leveraging recent operational successes with long-range drones to push for better negotiation terms. Simultaneously, on the digital front, the EU and the UK just dropped sweeping joint sanctions targeting Russian military intelligence officers from the GRU. This is a direct retaliation for a massive cyber espionage campaign aimed at critical European infrastructure. Let's bring it stateside for Section 3, U.S. policy and enforcement, domestic shifts. We are tracking 2 major, highly debated domestic shifts today. First, continuing a push for federal deregulation, President Trump signed executive orders significantly reducing the size of 2 national monuments in Utah. This effectively opens up massive tracts of public land for commercial mining and drilling. Meanwhile, on the enforcement side, ICE is facing intense public scrutiny after officers shot and killed a Colombian national in Maine. Notably, this is the agency's second deadly force incident in just 7 days. Both of these events represent major, real-time shifts in how federal power is applied. Next up is Section 4, Global Tragedies and Crackdowns, the Human Impact. The human scale of today's news is truly staggering, especially when you look at this number, 53,000. That is the number of undocumented immigrants who were processed and deported by South Africa in a sweeping national crackdown targeting unauthorized labor. The sheer logistical scale and human displacement of moving 53,000 people is immense, and it's sparking massive controversy. We are also following a truly horrific situation in Thailand today. A massive fire tore through a popular Bangkok nightclub, taking the lives of at least 27 patrons and injuring dozens more. Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul has confirmed that local authorities have already launched an active criminal investigation to figure out exactly how this deadly blaze started. Adding to the heavy news, families in Hyderabad, India, are currently mourning the loss of 15 tourists who tragically drowned in a boating accident off Phu Quoc Island in Vietnam.
Shock survivors recounted desperate but ultimately unsuccessful attempts to perform CPR on their fellow travelers. State officials are working right now to coordinate the repatriation of the bodies.
Finally, let's shift gears to Section 5, Historic Triumph at Wimbledon. Sinner retains the crown. Let's end today's explainer with a massive athletic milestone on the grass courts of London. World number one Jannik Sinner successfully defended his Wimbledon title in a totally thrilling four-set final against Germany's Alexander Zverev. After dropping a super tight first-set tiebreak, Sinner rallied with incredible resilience to take the next three sets, 7-6, 6-3, 6-4. That victory secures his fifth career Grand Slam. And to really grasp the magnitude of this win, Sinner just joined what we can call the back-to-back club. This is an incredibly exclusive group of men who have successfully defended a Wimbledon title in the last 25 years. We are talking absolute tennis legends: Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, Carlos Alcaraz, and now Jannik Sinner. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final thought. From the escalating conflicts in the Persian Gulf and massive domestic policy shifts all the way to completely new legacies being written on center court, we are watching history unfold across multiple fronts. How will these rapid, profound shifts in global power dynamics reshape our tomorrow? Thank you for tuning in to today's explainer, and definitely keep your eyes on how these stories develop.